Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. I am here to talk to you about my failure of a project. Now, because of all my tomfoolery in attempting to get the actual GPS data, I ended up picking pretty much the worst curve that anyone could imagine to do a space curve off of, because as you can see, it doesn't really work. So what I ended up doing was just using this region right here, basically, to create the space curve. Now, going from there, we have more issues because I don't actually have the right software to get all of the data easily off of the GPX file. So I ended up taking each of these latitudes and longitudes and manually inputting each one and the elevation, which also got screwed. We'll go over that in a minute. And manually inputting each one of those into Excel. Now, as you can see, I did all that even though I only really had to do this portion right here because I realized much later that, oh shoot, I didn't have to do that. Now, the issues with this portion begin with the elevation. So as you can see, the elevation here is somehow negative 12 meters, negative 13 meters, negative 14, then suddenly 3. So we have a change of 17 meters in 1 second, which I think is a little bit ridiculous, but I just kind of rolled with it and said, oh well, I guess my average change in elevation is going to be my actual change in elevation for this. And then the tomfoolery continues, getting all this. This went pretty smoothly. All the calculations went pretty smoothly. But since I only got that tiniest little portion right here, I ended up not getting anywhere near enough points to create like a sine function. So I just used Excel to create a regression here and here, and then I used Desmos to try and match them up as best as I could, and that's pretty much as best as I could, considering that, yeah, it's kind of, this whole project is pretty much a sham. However, using the sine and cosine functions I gathered from Desmos, I ended up getting a space curve that looks kind of like this, which is pretty good. However, you can tell if it goes anywhere above the 10 points that I set it to, it's going to not create a space curve, but create a rainbow infinity, which I have pretty much no idea how that happens or how I'm going to calculate anything, which is why I didn't do some of the calculations. And since it is 5:34 and I'm definitely going to be late, I'm gonna explain why in class. So at least I got something down. But going from the 0 to 10 seconds back to here, I used my calculator a lot to calculate all of these velocities at the certain time, the unit tangent vectors, acceleration, and tangential acceleration, which I'm currently working on calculating. However, since I have no idea what the radius is, I have no idea what the radius of the osculating circle is. Again, no earthly idea, and I can't find the centripetal acceleration. And even though this is a cluster, it was a fun cluster and a fun project, even though it took much, much longer to sort through all the data than I thought.